Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. I want to talk about Amazon. Amazon is one of the things that I spend the most amount of money on each month. And here's the problem. I buy things this day, I buy things that day. I'm like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this. Not necessarily things that I need. Do I use all of these things? No. Nope. I don't use all of them. I absolutely do not use all the things that I buy from Amazon. And a bad habit that I have is not returning them, not sending them back. So they just kind of sit in my house and kind of hang out. But here's the thing, I've been on this whole decluttering journey and learning how to steward the things that the Most High has given me in my life, like my home, my job, the money that I get from my job, just a whole bunch of things that I'm learning to steward better. And the biggest one has been finances, because I won't say that I haven't been doing a great job, because I look at the past where I've been and where I am now, and some of the choices that I make financially are better than in the past, because I would easily get a credit card here, a personal loan here at the same time. However, that's something that I have stopped doing over the past few years. Yes, recently I did take out a personal loan, and that was because one, I do not have an emergency fund right now. I don't, because my emergency fund moving forward is going to be my 401k, but I currently have two loans out right now, and those were for moving expenses. And so I can't take a loan out right now, but I did take out a personal loan just because I am a single parent. I am on a single income and I needed money to tie me over. But I say all that to say is that I have not made the best financial choices, but I am making better financial choices than I have in the past. And one of them was I paid off my credit card. I did close it out. I know people say, oh, don't close it out because it'll take a hit to your credit report. Well, when I paid it off, my credit score skyrocketed. Now, granted, I don't too much care about credit reports or credit scores, simply because I don't plan on making any big purchases in the near future that will require my credit to be ran, right? And so I do check my credit score and check my credit report just to make sure what's on there is actually mine. When it comes to Amazon, I do have Amazon Prime and I pay that per month, but I'm moving towards paying that per year and not per month, just to save money per month, because it wouldn't be a charge coming out every single month. I watched this video and I said this in my last video that I wanted to work on making purchases just once a month from Amazon and not making multiple purchases per month. So I want to give you an example of a month that was like really bad when it came to Amazon purchases. uh May, not a good example. I only made 4 Amazon purchases that month because I started this kind of early. Like, I don't want to spend so much money on Amazon. Um, okay, I can do April, if you can see that, how many purchases I made on Amazon. And then let's go back a little further. Let's look at March. Ridiculous. This is what I'm talking about here. This is what I'm talking about. For the month of March, do you see all of those Amazon purchases? Ridiculous. And I'm just like, I need to go on Amazon and see how much money I have spent so far this year. February wasn't so bad. Okay. And then let's look at January, and then we'll look at June. January was just as bad as March. All those Amazon purchases. And I just look at it, it's like all of this money going to Amazon. And I will say that I do end up sending a lot of things back because I end up realizing that I don't need all of those things. So let's look here at June. And you see some things whited out because I made some returns. And I think this month, the returns that I made is more returns that I've made in past months. So in total for the month of June, $130.11 of returns in 1 week. There was one thing that I returned like last month, end of last month, but it didn't hit my bank account until the beginning of this month. So it was for this 1 week, it was $118. Yes, $118 in 1 week. And I did not spend $118 at one time. But I'm having this issue where I buy things and I have the intention of using them. This is also an issue I have with other things as well. But specifically with Amazon, I will purchase things and then I end up not using them or it ends up not working and I don't send it back, right? So, for example, I have a walking pad that I probably should not have purchased because I don't use it as often. And right now, I can't use it as often because I can't stand for long periods of time without my foot swelling. I was using it, but then I realized maybe was not such a good purchase. However, trying to send it back was a hassle because I did not keep the box. And then it's also heavy, but yeah, that I should have sent back. I should have never purchased it. And then that's the thing that happens is I purchase things and I realize I can't send them back or it's too late when I think about it like later on. And so with wanting to keep my house decluttered, it has not been such a great thing that I make so many purchases from Amazon. But most of the purchases I make are because they're things that I use and things that I have been using for a very long time. And I like that specific thing from Amazon because if I go get it at the grocery store or at any other store, it's more expensive. Amazon does have its pros, but there are definitely cons to it, especially if you're someone like me who has a problem with making just random purchases. Okay. So, some things that I sent back to Amazon this month were a pack of dry erase markers with the magnet on them to stick to the refrigerator. I end up finding a dry erase marker, a large one in my son's room that has a magnet on it. And it's brand new. Don't know where it came from, but I'm like, why did I buy this 8 pack? The thing is, I just found that marker, but it's like I bought an 8 pack of markers when I really only need one. Because what if I decide that I want a different color or I don't want to use those markers anymore? Right? Had I opened the markers? Yes. Had I used one? Yes. But I still ended up sending it back because, again, it was a purchase that I did not need to make. Another thing is that I live in Texas, okay? And the gnats be natting, okay? So I have bought some spray, some peppermint spray, and you're supposed to spray it around the house because it is safe to be around pets and children or people. I don't have any pets, but I do have a child, and like I don't want to spray anything that's a bunch of chemicals around the house, especially because my son plays everywhere. So it was great. I was like, cool, great. It's made of natural things, cool. I used it the first time, and it's like you have to douse everything. And what they don't tell you is you have to leave the house because that peppermint smell is so strong. It made me lightheaded, it gave me a headache, and it made me nauseous. But I was like, you know what? It's going to work. It had tens of thousands of reviews. I want to say it had like 62,000 reviews, and the reviews were great. And I'm just like, y'all have to be lying for it to have that many reviews. No, and for it to not work, no. Because the thing is, I know the gnats are coming in from my front door. I live on the first floor, and behind my building it's very wet back there, and it doesn't dry because there's a building behind it. Like I'm facing the the back of the building now. There's a building behind it, and it's like a bunch of different businesses over there. It's very wet back there. The sun does not, I don't want to say it doesn't shine directly on it, but it's just very wet, very damp. And I live in Houston. It's humid. Texas is humid, like period. So the gnats are gnatting outside. It's like every time I open a door, open and close the door, they're coming in. Okay. And I keep my house very clean. I don't leave dishes in the sink. I make sure to clean the drains, all of that. I make sure to vacuum, mop, everything clean. I clean, but the gnats are still here. So I got that. The spray, it did not work. It didn't. And I've used it several times and, doused the house and left. It did not work. The gnats were still here. So I realized that my front door, the weather strip needed to be replaced, and a door sweep needed to be added to my the bottom of my front door, because besides gnats, there have been crickets in here, and those beetles, those flying beetles that fly only at nighttime, the ones you find dead in the morning, the small ones, were getting in the house. I could not figure out why. So I had maintenance to come and replace the weather strip. They put a door sweep. So I have seen less gnats since then. So I'm like, that was the culprit. So now I have this stuff, this spray, and I had also bought some stuff to pour down the drain that's also natural ingredients and safe for the drain because it's specifically for the drain. But I realized that baking soda, vinegar, and hot water works just fine. Or I do have a brush that I flush the drains here and there. But I'm like, so I have both of these things, these huge jugs of things. And I'm like, they were not cheap. One was $40 and the other was 35. Plus tax, it was like 37. And I'm like, Moniqua, that's a lot of money that you spent on stuff that one doesn't work. And one of them I hadn't even opened. But I was like just inside the return window to send them back. So I did. I sent them back. I did. And the other thing that I sent back was a book that I had bought for my son because he had lost one of his library books. And the library was like, hey, this book is $30. I said, $30 where? For this book to be about this big? I was like, no. So they ended up finding the book, and I had already bought the book, so I requested a return or refund. But they said I could keep the book, and they still refunded me my money. So in total, $130.11 this month in Amazon returns. And I do not want to do that again. So my Amazon purchases have to be intentional. They have to be intentional. And I can only purchase from Amazon once a month. That is the goal moving forward. Now I know you say, why would you just get rid of your Amazon, subscription and just go to the store and buy these certain things? Because some of the things that I buy, well, a lot of things that I buy are Amazon brand because they're cheaper even than the store brands of things that I buy. So it's like it's better to get it off Amazon than to go to the store. So that is my goal for Amazon. One purchase a month and only buy things that I absolutely need and use often. So no new things. No new things from Amazon. Just buy repeat things that I always buy, and that is it. So I hope that this has been edifying, and I hope that it has helped you if you are another Amazon Prime member, purchaser, what have you. And that is all I have for you.